Hello and welcome to this demo. Here we're going to design a stock trading strategy using machine learning within the Trading System Lab platform. So those of you that don't know what Trading System Lab is, I'll cover that now. Trading System Lab is a machine that designs trading strategies and writes the code for you, so no programming is required. It also stress tests the trading strategy design during the design process, which is pretty amazing. It employs many robustness techniques like parsimony pressure and your trade to parameter ratios, which trade off the bias variance trade off, a terminal set that does not rely on any preconceived strategy or trading design. In other words, it begins from a 0 point with no preconceived trading strategy. We're not optimizing an existing trading strategy because when you start the run in Trading System Lab, no strategy design exists. There's just a blank sheet of paper and 34 mathematical function sets, and of course the LAIM genetic program, which will evolve the trading strategy and write the code for you through the use of our connected simulation, translation, and fitness routines. Trading System Lab will design very unique strategies that you could never come up with on your own. I've been writing trading strategies for over 25 years, and the machine is able to design trading strategies that using mathematical constructs in such a way that I just simply wouldn't normally think of using constructs in that fashion. Yet they emerge very simple, robust, and they work. The machine creates these designs far faster than I could ever create them, and it's clearly the way moving forward for us, our clients, and a great deal of the trading industry out there. Trading System Lab will design a strategy on any stock, bond, mutual fund, ETF, commodity futures index, or other data series, other time series. And it will employ many different pre-processing techniques that are fully customizable. We have many preprocessors built in, but you can customize your own preprocessor to take in data that you believe is relevant. Very important here within Trading System Lab is that we're not doing direct prediction. Now, over 2 decades of work, I've done a lot of work with predictive modeling and various forms of machine learning and AI. And doing predictions on messy, noisy, non-stationary data like the stock market data and futures markets for that matter, or options data, just simply doesn't work that well. There's too many semi-random characteristics of financial time series to where trying to do predictions and focusing on things like R squared or predictive accuracy just simply is very often a losing proposition. One thing you might think about is that after you've done your prediction, you still don't know how well that prediction does until you've actually run simulations on that prediction. So you may have a prediction that's 90% accurate, but still loses money because the 10% of the time that you're wrong, you lose more money in those trades than the 90% of the time that you're correct. Now you might say, well, all I need to do is add a profit target or a stop loss. Well, every time you do that, it changes the entire characteristics of the equity stream. So that's not a simple answer to solving the prediction problem. What we did was we inverted the process by looking at the solution as a metric from the object of a trading strategy. A metric might be Sharpe ratio. So we invert Sharpe ratio, that becomes an error function. We use that error function within a converging system that includes a simulator connected to a machine learning engine, and the algorithm plays and converges and gets better at trading as it is trading, and we'll show you that in a minute with a demonstration on an ETF. So Trading System Lab automatically designs trading strategies, day trading strategies, overnight swing, pairs, portfolios, options trading strategies, and those trading strategies are pre-tested out of sample during the design process. The TSL platform has been around for approximately 15 years, and through that time, through our submissions to Futures Truth and the subsequent tests on sequestered data, we've been rated #1 on many markets. This is a great trading strategy. It's a great trading strategy design engine. It designs robust trading strategies. And if the trading strategy is not coming out robust, you will see that in the weak performance as evident on various logs and plots within the engine. The engine is extremely easy to use. We'll see that in a minute. So a little bit more information on the predictive modeling approach. This is the classical way that you would use machine learning or AI in looking at your data. You'll start with some data, you'll put it into a machine learning model, and you'll produce a prediction. There's something big missing here, as I just described, and that is the expectation of how well that trading strategy works moving forward. In Excel or some other spreadsheet, this is the kind of work that you'd be doing. You'd have a large file of inputs, and then in the far right column, you'd have a target that you're trying to predict. Perhaps the movement of the Dow over the next hour or day or week, or you're maybe predicting some volatility measure of the overall stock market or of some option. Either way, you're doing a predictive model. You may be predicting multiple things. So you may have a multiple input, multiple output predictive model. We also have a multi-input, multi-output model, only without doing that direct prediction approach that we just talked about. So in the expectation process, we simply start with a goal, we invert it, we run the ML connected to the sim process, and we produce and translate the code. Looking at it a slightly different way, here is the prediction approach, the old school way, if you will, of using these predictive models. Ultimately, you'll have a prediction, say, that is run in the following way. If the prediction is greater than the current price, then go long that underlying stock or commodity. So the prediction is predicting that the price is going to go up, so you're going to go long that market, and vice versa if we're going short or flat or exiting a short position, whatever have you. Ultimately, though, you'll have to produce an equity curve. If you don't do that, you really don't have any idea how well your prediction is actually going to work when you implement a trading strategy. So then ultimately you'll implement it. In the expectation approach, we don't have a prediction block here. That's missing. It's not part of the process. The engine will come up with its own metric of how accurate it is, if you will. How accurate is that prediction? And it might be 70% accurate, it might be 80%, 90%, it might be only 30 or 40% accurate. Remember that some of the best trading strategies using trend following models are only 30 or 40% accurate. Yet they produce some amazing looking equity curves. That's because the 30 or 40% of the time that they're correct, they hit huge home runs. Whereas the other times when they lose money, they don't lose as much. They lose smaller amounts. This is the classic trend following approach. Now TSL will do trend following, it'll do counter trend following, it'll do combinations of trend and counter trend following models to capture regime switches within the time series. But this is the expectation approach. So the three approaches, the three steps that we go through to design a trading strategy in Trading System Lab are: step number 1, we pre-process the data, extracting out a lot of relevant components. z-squared, normalized min-max, differences, ratios, etc., volatility measures. These are all part of the pre-processing technique that's done for you automatically, so you don't have to write any pre-processing code or try to figure out what are the best preprocessors to use. We have many different preprocessors that work over many different markets, and they're completely customizable. Step number 2 is to evolve the trading strategy using Trading System Labs linear automatic induction of machine code with genetic programming connected simulation engine, and then finally translate and implement that code. So let's go ahead and do an example here. Here is the QQQ ETF. This data is approximately 22 years worth of data, and we're going to design a short-term system that will buy this index and then exit it. Now, this is just one symbol. If you're a Trading System Lab user, you'll be designing many trading strategies on many different markets and implementing them as a portfolio of market models. Or you may decide to design one trading strategy on a basket of securities or commodities. We call that a portfolio model, where one model is traded against a basket of symbols. So you can design one symbol on one symbol with one trading strategy, or you can design a portfolio of symbols with one trading strategy. We can do that and many other approaches. Step number 1, pre-process the data. Let's go ahead and turn on the preprocessor and let that run. While it's running, it's extracting out the data needed and producing some flat files. And when it's done, it produces some arrows on the chart indicating that it's done. It also produces the theoretically perfect equity curve on this QQQ data. Notice that it's not a straight line. This assumes 100% accuracy is done in your trading, no losing trades, in other words. And notice that it's not a straight line. It's curvy because it goes with the volatility of the underlying. As the volatility is high, the equity curve starts to slope upward. If the volatility is not as high, the equity curve has a tendency to flatten out. So we'll close that out and turn off the preprocessor, and that completes step 1. I do want to show a couple subplots here that give you some additional information on this market as part of the Trading System Lab indicator package. We haven't gotten to the machine learning design yet. These are just the indicators called descriptive statistics, statistical indicators. The first plot here is the discrete Fourier transform, with each white dot being a 10-bar cycle. So as we can see here, we have some small humps around a 30-bar cycle, another one around 50, 60, 70, 80, and then a much bigger one around an 80-day cycle. So a lot of energy at a 80 trading day cycle in the QQQ. The next indicator here is what we call the indicator serocorrelation. It shows how well the market moves in the up direction, 1 to 20 bars into the future, versus how well it moves in the down direction. Well, the QQQ, like many other indices, like the S&P 500 or the Wilshire or the Russell or the Dow or the NASDAQ, they all exhibit the same kind of characteristic. They have a pretty strong upward bias, but they counter trend, they bounce, moving lower. So the red indicates here below the neutral, the zero line, that this market does not hold a trend in the down direction, but it does hold a trend in the up direction, 1 to 20 bars into the future. So the index markets are easier to go long than they are to go short. Now, many markets exhibit a very different characteristic here, but this can give you a starting point in using Trading System Lab and how you would go about your design. You'd probably not have as much success designing a symmetrical trading system that uses the same rules to go long and short on the index markets, simply because of this effect here that we see. The next plot is the random trend indicator, and that just shows how this market compares to that of a random walk, and it's very close to neutral, indicating that it does exhibit a lot of similar characteristics to that of a random walk. The next indicator here shows the day of week movement, how well the market moves in the up or the down direction, or what is the bias? Is it up or down on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday, or et cetera? Well, here we can see that on Friday, the QQQ over the past 21 years of data has a decidedly downward bias on Friday. So if we're looking for a day to go short, Friday would probably be a good day to take a look at. Likewise, in the middle of the week, that looks pretty good for going long. So our trading strategy, in fact, might end up going long in the middle of the week. And the Monday is neither up nor down very much at all. Tuesday seems to have a little bit of a down characteristic. The next plot is particularly interesting. It shows the movement of the market by day of month for 1 to 20 bars into the future based on day a month. So if I were to buy this market on the first day of the month and hold it for 1 to 20 days into the future and then plot that, we would see those colored indicators above the neutral line. Here you can see that in the middle of the month there's a decidedly downward bent to this descriptive statistic day of month indicator. So in the middle of the month would be a pretty good time to try to short this market, but earlier in the month, and particularly the first quarter or third of the month, are good times to go long this market. So this kind of characteristic is similar to other index markets. The funds will often rebalance or enter new positions early in the month. So we see this bias of greater movement early in the month and this lull period in the middle of the month. So this is called the day of week or day of month seasonal indicator plot that comes with the Trading System Lab platform. So let's go ahead and begin the design. So we've opened up Trading System Lab. The data's already been fed into Trading System Lab. I'm going to activate DAS and load some settings. Let's talk about these settings that I've loaded after I get this run started. So I'm going to go ahead and start the run. And we are now using a machine to design a trading strategy on the QQQ. So what I have set here is the basic fitness function number 1. That's net profit. So we're looking for a trading strategy that simply makes the most amount of money without regard to drawdown or percent accuracy or flat time or other metrics that we could certainly blend in later. This is a very simple approach using what we call fitness function number 1. Now we have a lot of other fitness functions, including an FF API DLL that you can write in C that you can customize to your criteria if you're so inclined. Otherwise, we've got 40 for you to choose from. Now, if you don't know which one to choose, we've got a program called EvoRun, which will run through all of those fitness functions and present to you an EvoRun grid that's sortable that will tell you which fitness function is the best. I've decided to go and use trading tactic, entry tactic number 5, which is enter on a limit. Now we have 27 different entry tactics, including combinations of systems. For example, here's a 2-limit based system that will enter on a limit using system number 1, and it will co-design at the same time another system we'll call system number 2, and it will enter on that as it so decides. Now, if you're looking at a market that has both trending and counter-trending characteristics, you may want to consider using a trading tactic like trading tactic number 19, which enters on a stop, i.e. a trend following system, and and or enters on a limit, i.e. a counter-trending system. These are two systems that co-emerge as one system during the design process, but they end up being two distinct systems. Also, our reports will show you how many times you've entered on system number 1 or system number 2. Okay, let's look at some of these other techniques here. We have market orders, we have next bars open, we have limits, stops, and we have various other variations on limits and stops, including the Chinese next bar open plus T0 re-entry system that's required trading, is a required trading approach in China. Okay, so let's talk about the preprocessor now. I've chosen preprocessor number 4. We have 5 preprocessors in this big option and another 5 in another setup option that you can use. That's a total of 10 preprocessors. Each preprocessor has 56 inputs. What are the inputs? They're discussed in another demonstration, but as I said earlier, they include things like volatility ratios and max min and z-scores and other patterns and indicators that we have found are particularly helpful to feed into the machine learning engine to assist in the design process. Here in DAS, we also have some sliders where you can set and attempt to target a particular profit to drawdown, for example, or average trade target, or percent accuracy target. For example, if we want to look at trading strategies that go for the most amount of money to be made, but yet still have a 90% accurate, we can move this slider up here and let the engine run and attempt to find that. Now, right now, we've come up with a trading strategy that has some pretty good numbers. It's trading a $10,000 account size. The trading strategy made 300%, not reinvesting, and these are non-compounded returns, and they are trading equal dollars on every trade going back 20 years. So at the current time, with the QQQ being high, it's going to be trading fewer shares. But in the past, we'll be trading larger shares. For example, right now it's only trading 33 shares. And of course, all of these criteria are easily configured and set for you. The system that came out is 66% accurate, although there's many other trading strategies that have emerged from this process. We'll load up a little ME grid to take a look at some of the data that's come out of this engine up to this time. And there's the data I was looking for. So this spreadsheet here is sortable and filterable. For example, here is a sorting of all of the out of sample results that have come out of the engine so far. And that's sortable by Sharpe ratio or profit factor, or I can blend in the all data. This is all of the data that has resulted in trading strategies to come out of the engine. So this one here is the top trading strategy. As we can see, the highest net profit may not have the best net to drawdown, et cetera, et cetera. So you use these grids to search, if you will, for some sweet spots in the data where you have a very good risk to reward and still other parameters that are important to look at in a trading strategy are not overlooked. So while this engine is running, we have other trading strategies that are emerging using other instances of Trading System Lab. Here I've got 4 instances of Trading System Lab open at the same time. In another demonstration, I've run as many as 40 of these instances of Trading System Lab on one workstation. So Trading System Lab is partially hyper-threaded, but it doesn't saturate your CPU with just one instance. So you can have many instances all configured differently, all working on different kinds of projects and different kinds of setups. Here, for example, this one is going through all of the fitness functions involved in Trading System Lab. So what that shows us in the Evo Run grid are the various fitness functions, and that will help you choose which is the best fitness function to focus on in subsequent runs. So we would go in here to the data and open up the OPT programs data file for our configuration that's currently running, which is configuration PID 23184, which is right here. So I'll open that up. And so far, in the few minutes this has been running, we have gone through fitness function 1 through 7. And at this time, it looks like fitness function number 4 is has the highest net profit. So that gives you some idea how to use the Evo Run setup. Again, Evo Run will let you run through trade type, preprocessor, fitness function. For the intraday data, it will let you increment the bar size to increment, say, a 5-minute bar to a 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, etc., and produce a report that will show you what is the best bar granularity to trade, depending upon the metric that you're focusing on. It might be average trade, it might be profit to drawdown, it might be percent accuracy. Either way, it will give you some idea what the best bar size is to go after. So let's go back to our original program that's running here, which is this one. I used fitness function 1, trade type 5, and preprocessor number 4. And let's talk about a little information that's under the hood, if you will, of Trading System Lab. So here we show a monitor project to report that shows the internal workings of the genetic program and what criteria have currently been randomized into the process relative to crossover rate, homologous crossover rate, mutation rate, etc. It also shows you how many generations since start and how many generations without improvement have already you've been presented with. And even noticed it just hit generations without improvement 5 and a new run started. So that completed that run, and Trading System Lab behind the scenes started all over again, re-randomizing in criteria and beginning the run all over again. That is one of the robustness techniques that helps Trading System Lab crawl up a more global optimum in the way it's looking for solutions within the entire solution space. So it's not a single run process. Trading System Lab is a multi-run process. So we can see here also that the log shows the net profit, drawdown, and other criteria for various trading strategies that have emerged. This has already run through 8 runs for a total of almost 11 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stop the run. And we're going to take a look at some of these trading strategies that have emerged. I'm going to use what's called post-design evaluation. I'm going to turn that on. And now I'm going to click on one of the latest strategies to emerge. And here is the unsimplified code that comes up. I'm going to make that box a little smaller there. Here we go. So now as we click on the strategies that have emerged, we can see the effect on the equity curves, and we can now make a decision which trading strategy we want to implement. We also see the size of the unsimplified code that comes out of Trading System Lab. Okay, let's take the best trading strategy here, which was the top one. And I'm going to now turn back off the post-design evaluation and simplify this code by removing the introns. And here is the simplified code. It's only 5 lines of code. It only used 2 inputs. So even though we started with 56 inputs, our trading strategy only uses 2 inputs and a trig function. So that's a very simple trading strategy, and that's what we want, is a nice, simple trading strategy. I'll save the C code. Let me go into the Evolve Systems package here, and I'll just call it any EOD demo. So I don't need to know any programming. I just need to use a mouse and save code. And now I'm translating that code over to TradeStation's native easy language. Here it is. I'll copy that to the clipboard. I'm done with the translator now. And I will now bring it into the easy language program. I'll first comment out some work that I was doing earlier. So there it is in easy language. I'll verify it. And it's verified. And now I have to set my inputs. Most of my inputs should be set from prior runs because they haven't changed very much. But if you need to know what your inputs are, the complete set of inputs are right here. Now we only modified a few of those inputs, the big ones being the preprocessor and the trade type. So let's go to TradeStation now and turn on that system. After I take a quick look at those inputs, here's the trading strategy. Here are the inputs, and those inputs look correct, and none of them changed from an earlier run that I did, but here's where I would change the inputs if they did. And let's go ahead and turn that trading strategy on. And when it's done, we will look at the equity curve and see how that equity curve here compares with our equity curve in Trading System Lab that we were just working with. Here it is, and here's the equity curve, and I'll make this a little smaller, and I'll put it side by side with the TradeStation equity curve, and sure enough, looks like it does match. So here's Trading System Lab. Here's the TradeStation equity curve, and we can go in and actually look at individual trades to confirm that the translation process was complete. So this trading strategy is ready to trade. Those are the 3 steps involved in creating a trading system in Trading System Lab. And of course, while I was doing all of this work, I can have many other Trading System Labs open and running on this package here, or perhaps I'd want to use a server off-site, some kind of co-located server, or another computer within my office. We could certainly do that. I want to point out a system stats report that is also available in Trading System Lab, and this report is on this system that I just ran, and this report was created. This shows the net profit by day of week. And as you can see, late in the week, like on Friday, just as our earlier indicator showed, Friday is the weakest day to trade this particular trading strategy. Now, what about the weakest month? Well, here it looks like February and August are very weak months to trade this trading strategy. Let's look at day of month. We said that early in the month is a pretty good time to trade. Well, that looks about right. But as we go through the month, about a third of the way, a quarter of the way into the month, we see a pretty poor day of month to trade. There were only 18 trades on that particular day a month, but it was negative. Then there's another one here and another one late in the day of month plot as well. Another way to look at that is day of week and month. 1/1 means the first Monday, 1/2 means the first Tuesday, etc. So there are some week days of week and month to trade as well. Here, for example, the third Friday is a bad day to trade. You might want to ask yourself what reports come out at those times that would make the QQQ a bad make the third Friday of every month a bad day of month to trade the QQQ. Okay, so what did we do? We first started with the QQQ raw data. We pre-processed the data in TradeStation. We then went to Trading System Lab and designed many trading strategies in 11 minutes and 46 seconds of runtime. We then translated those trading strategies from machine code to C code to easy language with just a few clicks of the mouse. Very powerful process with just a few clicks of the mouse. Then we dropped that code using copy and paste into TradeStation's easy language here and turned that system on in TradeStation, and this trading strategy is ready to trade. So you can do this again and again on stocks or bonds or mutual funds or commodities or indexes, and there is no limit to the number of trading strategies that you can design. We hope you enjoyed this demo. If you have any more questions, please go to our website, TradingSystemLab.com. There's also a new website, TradingSystemLabs, plural.com, and there's a link on the homepage of the old website to the new website. The demos, the flash demos, will be easier to see on the new website because it employs more modern video techniques to let you see the demo more easily. Also, join our Silicon Valley Machine Learning for Trading Strategies meetup group, or if you're in New York, join the New York Machine Learning for Trading Strategies group. And come on in with the 1,000+ people that are doing similar kind of research. And of course, if you're interested in a license to the full Trading System Lab platform, please contact us directly for additional information. We'd be happy to hear from you. This is Mike Barna from Trading System Lab. Thank you for watching.